Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the anatomy of a viral YouTube prank to really understand the storytelling formula that makes these videos so captivating.
So this is the moment. A YouTube prank has just completely spiraled out of control. We've got a husband, phone in hand, chasing his wife's car through city traffic, and he is genuinely panicked. But to understand how a simple joke escalated into this, well, we have to go all the way back to the beginning.
Everything starts with the setup. Our story kicks off with a really popular YouTube vlogger, Saurav Joshi. He decides he's going to try a pretty well-known internet trend for his next video, the 24-hour ignore challenge.
So he tells his audience exactly what the plan is. For a full 24 hours, he's going to completely ignore his wife, Avantika. And what's his prediction? That she'll be totally confused, left wondering what in the world she could have possibly done to get the silent treatment.
And just like that, the stage is set. It's a classic prank formula, right? You've got one person who's in on the joke, camera rolling, and the other person who is about to have a very confusing day.
And next up, of course, is the escalation. As the challenge actually gets going, what was supposed to be a lighthearted prank, it starts to stir up some very real confusion and emotional tension around the house.
And right here you can see these two completely different realities playing out side by side. For Saurav, it's all about the content. Yeah, he says he feels bad, but he's got to stick to the challenge. But for Avantika, this whole thing is genuinely confusing and honestly pretty hurtful. She keeps asking him what's wrong, and she even starts to wonder out loud, is this a prank?
I mean, things get so tense that even Saurav's own mother steps in. She sees how much real distress this is causing and flat out warns him it's a bad idea, telling him these things are not right. But he's committed to the vlog, so he just keeps going.
And this is where we get to the twist. Just as all that tension is building, the entire narrative gets flipped right on its head when the target of the prank gets a little piece of secret information.
Yep, Avantika learns the truth. A family member, and it's probably Saurav's mom who tried to warn him, lets her in on the secret. The ignore challenge has officially been exposed.
But here's the thing. Avantika doesn't just get mad or confront him. Oh no, she decides she's going to play the game herself. She sees this perfect opportunity not just to end his joke, but to one-up him by turning the tables completely.
And this timeline shows you just how fast this whole thing snowballs. You've got the warning from his mom, then the secret gets out to Avantika, and then her decision. It all leads to this one super dramatic action. She grabs the car keys and just drives off, leaving a still filming Saurav totally stunned.
And that brings us to the climax, a full-blown panicked chase. Avantika's gone, and the original prankster is suddenly thrown into a state of genuine panic. The challenge is over. Now, a real, totally unplanned chase across the city has just begun.
So think about it. This is the ultimate reversal, isn't it? The person who is orchestrating this whole thing for his camera has now completely, utterly lost control of the situation. He's the one who's confused now, he's worried, and he is totally out of the loop.
That confident vlogger voice, it just dissolves. Now he's just a panicked husband, wondering out loud where she could be going, desperately calling her phone with no answer, all while trying to chase her through traffic in a much slower car.
The irony here is just perfect. The guy who manufactured a whole scenario just for content is now trapped in a very real, very traumatic situation that he did not plan and cannot control. He thought he was the director, but he's just become the main character in someone else's story.
Okay, so after all that chaos, we finally reach the resolution. The frantic chase leads Saurav all the way to Avantika's parents' house, which is exactly where she wanted him to go, and this is where we get the final reveal.
So as a worried, panicked Saurav runs inside, what does he find? He's met with a huge, triumphant shout of "Prank!" from his wife and her family. The hunter officially became the hunted. Turns out he was the real target all along.
So, after that wild ride, what's the takeaway? Well, you can really see the anatomy of a perfect prank vlog. It follows this classic storytelling formula. You've got a simple setup, rising emotional stakes, a sharp twist, a super dramatic climax, and then a quick, clean resolution. It's a structure that is perfectly designed to create drama and keep you totally hooked.
And you can't overlook how important that resolution is. The second the prank is revealed, all that conflict just instantly vanishes. They're laughing, they're eating, they're making plans to go see a movie. This quick snap back to normal life is crucial. It reassures the audience that, hey, no real harm done. It was all just for fun.
And that leaves us with one last big question. As you watch this perfect narrative unfold, from the mother's warning all the way to that climactic chase, you've got to ask yourself, are we watching a genuinely spontaneous family moment that just happened to be caught on camera? Or are we watching a carefully constructed piece of entertainment, expertly designed to look spontaneous? The line gets really blurry, and honestly, that's what makes it so compelling. You decide.